couple of people right there looking for something. I have no clue what they're looking for. It'd be cold or the water through.
University. Here to our right, the first building with a flashing sign, that's our National Theatre. This was founded by the late Lord Olivier. The White Tower block, you see, well, until recently that was the television centre. If you watch ITV, this is where all your repeat programmes used to come from. Now they moved out to have the building refurbished. The idea was they'll come back to brand new Riverside Studios. Well, the problem is they're not coming back. They've now sold this complex to a Chinese property developer, and he's turning it into just what we need. Another luxury hotel with private apartments. Now on your left, the white ship all dressed up, that's the Wellington, the livery hall of master mariners. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, he was the master. But you see that archway behind the ship, Temple Arch? Look at the keystone, it's old Father Thames looking at his river. Now also on the left, see the silver dragons on the wall? They're guarding the City of London. So you've just entered the smallest capital city in the world, the 1 square mile City of London. If you look through the trees on the left, that is one of the oldest parts of London. It's known as the Inner and Middle Temple. Today it's where we train the legal profession of England, the Inner. Paul's Cathedral. It took 35 years to complete. Now on top of the dome is a viewing gallery. I'm not sure if it's open today, but you have to climb over 500 steps to get there. And while that building was going up, Christopher Wren also designed another 50 churches that all stood on the left. Now this is our newest bridge, Millennium Bridge. In the morning we had all the stars coming over telling us how lucky we were to have a new bridge on the river, but they weren't around here 3 hours later when it was closed down. So many people walked over the first upside down suspension bridge, it started to sway violently. So we closed it for 6 months. It's now known as the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. If you're into Harry Potter, it's the Harry Potter Bridge. Now we've got to make a short stop on the right here, folks. We've got some people leaving us at Bankside. So if you're getting off, make sure you don't leave behind any personal items. But look on the right there, between the trees and the banners, William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, the only timber-framed, thatched-roof open-air theatre in London since the Great Fire. Now the reason all the entertainment was here on the right is because the city fathers over there on the left, they would not allow live entertainment. So everyone used to jump in their boats and come over here to Bankside. Bear baiting, cockfighting, circuses, taverns and even houses of horizontal pleasure. Now look over the pier on the right. You see those big black iron gates that are open directly to the right? Each lump of metal on that gate is a character from a Shakespearean. So just give us a minute, folks. Down, and the last one we sold it as a jigsaw puzzle. Most of it ended up in Lake Havasu City in Arizona, and this little bridge opened 1973. Now as we go through, look along the right hand bank all the way to the next bridge. Every building you see on the right, this is all part of London Bridge City, and it all belongs to the Qatari royal family. They've been buying up large bits of this country for many, many years. They even own the tallest building in the country, the Shard. Now if you want to go up the Shard and waste £30 each, you can. But go up the walkie-talkie on the left and you won't have to pay anything. You just book it in advance. And on the top floor of that building are 4 very large restaurants. Now the little yellow brick building on our left, this was the oldest fish market in England. It was known as Billingsgate. Now Billingsgate is an old English word. It means a foul-mouthed fish porter. You might have heard of one of them. Today he's called Sir Michael Caine. Behind the trees on your left, that's the Customs House, the main customs office of England. And then in front of us we've got 2 ships. Now the one with all the guns, HMS Belfast. She's been in the river over 50 years now as a museum. She's got 9 decks to explore and well worth a visit. You've got any youngsters, you can lose them on there for a couple of hours. Now outside is a cruise ship, the Hamburg, so you're not going to get any prizes if you guess where she's come from. Now she used to come here before COVID at least once a month throughout the summer. This week has been the busiest week we've had for many years. We've had 3 of these cruise liners in here in the last 7 days. But it is nice to see them back, and when you look at the size of that ship and look at that little bridge in front of you, it makes you wonder how they get through. But we used to have over 50 cruise liners a year coming into central London. Now when we go by the ship, if you look on the right, you'll see what we call the Power Rangers crash helmet. Now this big glass bubble, it was the headquarters for the Mayor of London until last year. He said he's moving out because the people of London can't afford the rent. The silly thing is it cost us £10 million for him to move. But apparently he never tells lies. Now over here on your left we have the tower, 1,000 years of English history. Palace, fortress, prison, zoo and a royal mint. It's also been a place of execution, so look past the passenger boats on your left, you'll see the words on the wall there, entry to Traitor's Gate. Now we used to call that the first one-way street in London, because when you went in, you never ever came out. The ones who did normally came out in 4 separate pieces. The good old days. So here we are, the last bridge in London, the famous Tower Bridge, opened 1894. Look at the top, you see the city badge, that means you're about to leave the City of London. So on our journey this afternoon, you have beaten all the traffic through central London. The lower bascules, where the buses, they lift up to let the ships come in. When they were raised years ago, we just walked over the top. But they stopped us doing that when it was all glassed in. But look up there today, look underneath the city badge, because we've now installed glass pavements. So as we go under, want to see some nice big smiles and a wave. Make out you're enjoying yourselves, because there's someone up there about to take your picture. So if you're here with someone you shouldn't be with, please don't look up. Now as we go under the bridge, look in front of us, because that was the docks. There are no docks in London anymore. We much prefer to have overpriced apartments that most of us can't afford. So as we go under the bridge, we're going to make a short stop on the left. Now folks, if your ticket says Tower Bridge Quay, Tower Bridge, single or return, you must change boats at this pier. There are boats leaving here every